Hi, I'm Greg, and welcome to Greg's Do-It-Yourself Tech Channel. If you're a first-time viewer, welcome to the channel. If you're a returning guest, great to see you back. Today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about Facebook and if your account had gotten hacked or cloned. This is a big topic. In fact, it was one of the first things I wanted to do when I came up with the idea for this channel was to do a video about hacking and cloning of Facebook accounts, because a lot of people don't understand what happened to them. They all assume they got hacked. And I wanted to create this video to really explain what's going on, how to protect yourself, and again, just keep your Facebook experience safe. As usual, please like, subscribe, and share, especially if you have friends who've had issues with their Facebook account and you want to teach them how to get themselves better protected. Please share this video with them and help pass on the information that can help them out. So the first thing let's talk about is hacking. As I mentioned in a previous video, most people don't get directly hacked. What happens is big companies get hacked and their information gets taken away. Usernames, passwords, email accounts, all this information gets brought over to basically like a big old database of this information, and then hackers try to use that information to see where they can go. They might try out your Apple account or your Google account, PayPal, your financial institutions, just try to see if they can get somewhere to make some money. Well, with that in mind, why on earth would they want to hack your Facebook account? And there's a couple reasons. First, to send messages to your friends with links to send them to bad websites. Hey, I'm now selling cryptocurrency. Click on this website to join. And it's really not from you, it's from somebody else. Second, to gain access to your friends list and possibly to use it to send information to their accounts or to post bad links. The other thing, so basically, again, I should back up a second. A hacked account basically is somebody gained access to your real Facebook account. They got in there. They're able to do things. They can manipulate your data. They can contact your friends. And basically, this looks like if somebody receives a message in Messenger from Facebook, for example, from you, somebody that you already have contact with, and you see, your regular messages from them, and suddenly you see this weird message, and then later on, your friend might even apologize. Hey, that wasn't for me. Don't know how that happened. Yeah, somebody got into their account and actually was able to send information out. That is a true hack. How they got the information, there's many different ways, and we'll talk about some of the safeguards for it, but that would be hacked. Next, let's talk about the one that happens way more often. A cloned account. Now basically, to understand Facebook, first off, you're not the only person with your name possibly on Facebook. For example, because you aren't the only person in the world with that name, example, in the U.S., there are over 50,000 John Smith. And depends on what website you check, they argue back and forth. But anyway, there's about 50,000 John Smiths. So if every one of those John Smiths wanted, they could have their own Facebook account, which is why they allow you to have multiple people with the exact same name. So basically how a clone account gets started is somebody comes up and they create an account with your name on it. The thing they do next is they might extract your profile picture, because typically your profile picture is available for anybody to see. So if they know what they're doing, they could copy your profile picture and they're going to stick it on their profile. And it's going to be, hey, someone suddenly looks like you with your information and they're friend requesting you again. Sometimes, though, they might have just grabbed a random picture off the internet. Other times they might have had access to some of your other photos that are made public, and that's how they gain access to that information. But either way, all of a sudden, your friends are getting requests from somebody that's got your name, because again, you're not the only person who has access to create an account with that name, and it looks like you, so they assume it's you again. Okay, so the next section here, let's talk about how to avoid Facebook hacking. Since we started with hacking, let's go back and talk about how to avoid it. Then we're going to talk about how to avoid cloning. First, if any of your accounts have the same password as your Facebook account, change it. You really should have separate passwords for all these different things. Because again, if your Apple account got hacked, or if somebody again hacked a major company and pulled that password for your Apple account, they're going to try it on Facebook now. So, or, even if you got caught by one of these phishing scams, again, we talked about that in a previous video, something that you give away a password to one of your other accounts, if it's the same account password, the problem is now they have it, they're going to try it on Facebook. They have your email address, they got your password. So between the two of them, you're going to run into a problem if it's the same information. So again, keep your Facebook passwords separate. Also, if any of your other accounts get compromised, change that Facebook password immediately. So if you do find out that, for example, Apple account got hacked, or some web breach occurred, and they warned you, hey, there was a problem at Apple, change your password there, you really ought to change your Facebook password immediately as well. Now, how to avoid Facebook hacking? The best thing you can do to avoid that is what they call two-step authentication. It helps keep people from gaining access to your account. People don't like it because it's always an extra step. But the beauty of two-step authentication is it does prevent, even if somebody has your username and your password, they need to do another step. For example, you may need to receive a text message from your cell phone, and only your cell phone can give that code. So again, two-step authentication is a little annoying to people at times, but it really does help you that extra level, because you can't just get in with an email address and a password. You need some extra steps that only you would have the device that can help make that happen. So you can look into your security settings in Facebook and you will see two-step authentication. I'm not going to show exactly where that is because things do change in Facebook all the time, locations of where these settings are. So the best thing to do is Google it, where to look to where to look to add two-step authentication to your Facebook account, and they'll walk you through it. If we get enough requests, I'll do a video for the current version of that location, but again, like I said, it changes enough that it's probably not worth showing you right now. Okay, next, how to avoid getting tricked by clones. So this is the one that gets people all the time. You just received a friend request from somebody that you're actually already friends with. And you start to think, maybe they got locked out of their Facebook account. Maybe something happened. You don't know what went down. So you start to wonder, maybe I should let them in. So again, if you get a friend request from someone you already are friends with, check to see the last time your original friend posted anything. What I mean by that is, let's say John Smith. Again, we like to use that name because there's over 50,000 of them. So sorry, John, if you're out there watching the video, didn't mean to use your name. But let's say, for example, John Smith sends me a friend request. I'm already friends with John Smith. Well, let me look in my John Smith that shows up as a checkmark box as a friend of mine, and I want to see the last time he posted. If John Smith just posted yesterday, that's probably a clone. So basically, if you see that, that's probably a good sign that that's not accurate. If it's been 4 or 5 months, well, maybe something happened and he had to create a new account. But the next thing you can do that's listed here is see if key people are friends with the new account. I'll give you a great example, and it says like such as a spouse or significant other. I just received a friend request a few weeks ago from a friend of mine, and I realized I hadn't seen her post in a while. Now, when I'm looking at this account, first off, I checked, and wow, the one I'm used to went away, no longer a friend, and I started searching, and I looked, and I saw her husband is a friend. Now, these clone accounts will have sometimes mutual friends of yours because somebody conned a few of them into already saying yes, but chances are their significant other, their spouse or whatever, we'll know, hey, I just got a friend request from you. They're going to have a conversation that day, say, no, that wasn't me. So if you see the spouse or significant other is already friends with them, there's maybe a better chance that that account is legitimate. Like my friend who turns out this was their new account, something had happened to their old account. So yes, I did add them in. But better yet, don't make assumptions. If you have their contact information or their email address or anything outside of Facebook, reach out to them. Hey, I just got a friend request from you. Is that really you? And that's your 100% guarantee answer. If that person's like, no, I didn't do that. Plus, it also gives them a heads up to say, my account was cloned. The problem is they typically say, my account was hacked. No, it wasn't. It was cloned. Somebody went out and, again, created a duplicate account. It's not your account. They have no access to your information. But why do they do that? Because they want to trick your friends into becoming friends with them so that they can have access to them. They can send them messages. They can send them posts. They can do all this other stuff. That's why clones exist, is to basically just trick people into joining them as well. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is how to avoid getting cloned. Because there's a couple things to look at in here. So you can turn off your ability for your friends to see your friends list. It will only show them friends you have in common or stop them from seeing your list at all. The only issue with doing this is that it makes it harder for people to track down friends through you. Let me explain that a little better. So, by default, your friend list is usually public. I wanted to do a demonstration of that, but unfortunately, I actually had tried to do a dummy account on Facebook, and I'll be honest, Facebook security has gotten much better. I wasn't able to create one easily, so I said, you know what, I'm going to skip it. It's probably for the better. But basically, you can go around on Facebook, look up some famous people, and if any of them have a friend list available, you can see if you can add their friends. That's basically the same thing. If their friend list is public, you have access to see who their friends are. You also have access to add those friends. And that's what the clones do, is if your friend list is public, they will jump in there and add your friends, and because they see that you see the similar name, you assume it's you. So these changes you can do are a couple different ways. One, you can turn your friend list, basically you can turn your friend list off where nobody can see it but yourself. You can also turn it to mutual friends. You only get to see my friend list. So for example, let's say I have 500 friends. You only get to see the friends we have in common. So if we have no friends in common, you won't see anything under my friends. Now, this all sounds great, but why isn't it there by default? Well, the reason is simple, because Facebook is all about meeting friends and finding old friends. And if your friend list is not public, it makes it harder sometimes to find people. So, for example, I had a friend one time where I knew they were mutual friends with two of my friends, and I was having trouble finding this person. So I was able to go to my two friends' friend lists and track down that name, and oh, there you are, and add them as a friend. So sometimes it's really cool. Like maybe you happen to have one of your high school friends, and you can look at their friend list and find a couple of your old friends that, oh, I didn't even realize this person's on Facebook. I can add them into my list. So turning that feature off or limiting it kills that ability. If I looked at a friends list and I was, and they had limited me to only my friends, I won't be able to see the other friends that could become my friends if they had left that on. So you got to balance that between yourself. If you care about the social media experiment and you really want to allow people to see your friends list, that's great. You can, leave it open, but realize when you do, you're susceptible to hacking. You're susceptible to cloning. Now, even if you do everything right, remember, somebody can still clone your account. And what I mean by that is somebody could go out there and create an account with your name and your photo, but they won't have access to your existing friend list. So they may just have to wing it or pretend to be you for a little bit and see if they can get away with something, but they won't see your friend list. So people can still create those type of accounts. It just won't be as effective if your friend list is turned off. And again, what I've seen messing around with some of the settings, just trying to see if I could get away with a quick account just to give you a demo, it's become much, much harder for Facebook to add new people if it suspects any problems. And that's a great thing. It sounds like they've really gotten their security in better shape. So Facebook, that's a 2 thumbs up for you for that one. So again, I think this problem is becoming less of an issue, but it's still worth understanding. And I'm going to show you real quick where the current security settings are. Just like the searching stuff that I wanted to show you earlier, it's quite possible that Facebook is going to change its location. So again, at the time of this video, this is where those settings are. They may change down the road. So let's just jump over to a computer screen here. And here we are in my Do-It-Yourself Tech channel on Facebook. Yes, you can find my channel on Facebook, and you can basically go in there and feel free to follow us over there. Currently we have no followers. We just posted it the other day, but again, feel free to check it out. So in the upper right hand corner, and again, this is just the computer version, it would be different on your cell phone location, but we're going to show on a computer what you're going to do. You're going to click on your name. Then down below there's a choice here that says settings and privacy, and we're going to blow this up a little bit. And you can see right here, settings and privacy. Once I click on that, actually, I'm sorry, I have to do one other change first. So let's do this. I have to switch to account that I'm not going to let you see. Okay. Now, let's go to settings and privacy. We're going to go to regular settings. And then all the way over here, on the left-hand side, and again, I've blown up the screen a little bit for a few reasons here, you're going to see how people find and contact you. Once you click on that, you will see, and again, we're just blowing this up just to make it a little easier for you to see, who can send you friend requests? Everyone. Okay, most of the time you want that because friends who you don't have friends with are a problem. You won't be able to add extra people outside. Your choices are who can you add friend requests from? And the choices are, let's scroll down a little bit here. Everyone or friends of friends. So if it's set to everyone, the whole world can add you as a friend. If it's only friends of friends, then people have to know which friend to jump through. And I've actually had that work for me one time. An old school teacher of mine doesn't allow public people to add them. So I couldn't add them, but I was friends of a friend, so once I added that friend, they were able to create the ad. It was a little complicated, but it does work. So those are your two choices there for allowing people to friend request you. Again, if you're set to friends of friends, that might help you also not get clone requests, meaning that people aren't going to play games and say, hey, refriend me. But again, the problem is when your friends lose their Facebook account, they can't re-add you back because they're not your friend. So be careful with this one. This is, again, choosing who you allow to have a friend request from. But the one we were talking about before, which is the big one to prevent people from stealing your list and sending out friend requests to your friends, is this one here. Who can see your friend lists? Now, there's a couple different choices here. Let me see if I can pull this up a little bit higher. Raise this up just a little bit. So basically, public. Anyone on anyone on or off of Facebook can see your friend list. This, by the way, is your default. Next, your friends on Facebook. So your friends can see you. Only your friends can see your friend list. Next, friends accept. Don't show the list to some friends. So you can show some your list, some others not. Specific friends, only show to specific people. Only me and custom. So, again, if you're set to public, the advantage is you can help other friends find other friends. But if people are always jumping in and pretending to be you to your friends, one way you can prevent that is only your friends can see your friend list. Because then that account doesn't have access to your stuff to try to add friends that way. So I hope that makes sense. If you turn it over here, that only your friends on Facebook, you check this box here, then what you're doing is you're basically kicking in that only your friends can see who your friends are. You can still get new friend requests from outsiders, but they won't be able to see your list, and that'll prevent people from being able to create an account that looks like you and then grabbing your friends. So, hope that makes sense. It's a little confusing, but again, that's how you help prevent your own account from getting cloned. Okay, let's get back into the presentation here. And I am going to drop you down. So again, as we just said, turning off the ability for your friends list will only show them friends you have in common or stop them from seeing your list at all, depending on which of those choices you just chose. The only issue with doing this is it makes it harder for people to track down friends through you. You have to make that choice and decide what's more important, or you could go back and forth. Again, it seems like Facebook is taking their security a little more seriously and are actually putting in some good safeguards to prevent people from creating brand new accounts out of the fly. So maybe this problem's starting to get less of an issue. But again, for those of you who have seen it, it's also good to understand exactly what has happened to you in the past. And we'll see what happens moving forward. Now here's another interesting one. How to avoid helping hackers. What do I mean by that? So on Facebook, we have all sorts of social media days. We have National Sibling Day, National Cat Day, National Dog Day, all these other fun things. One of the problems with these days are hackers create some of this stuff and these games and other things, like pick the last 10 pictures off your roll and this, that, and the other thing. Some of these experiments, as I like to call them, are used to gain information that might be your security questions from a bank website or someplace else. So, for example, National Sibling Day, you post a picture of your siblings, or your Pets Day, or your, like on Dog Day or Cat Day. So guess what? When they're asking your security question, maybe it's Fluffy the dog, or Mittens the cat. Whatever that is, you're giving them words that may be your security question. Maybe it's your children's names or combinations of things. Or if it's one of those click forgot password things, maybe what they're doing is they're looking and seeing, it'll ask you the question, hey, what is your favorite movie? Well, there is a Facebook game or a social media experiment out there that'll probably ask you what your favorite movie is, and you just told them. So again, be very careful with these games, because some of these games and social experiments are actually used to capture your security questions. Think about that before you play them. Just like I also tell people, think about posting, I'm away on vacation. I don't post my posts from vacation until I've been back for a few days usually. Anyone who's posting, hey, I'm away in, the in the Virgin Islands. Well, guess what? Your house might be getting broken into as you speak because you just told people. Now, your friends might be safe, but maybe a friend of your friend not, and somehow they saw your post or you forgot to not make it public, or who knows what the problem is. Don't invite situations like that. So even with the games on Facebook, be very careful when you do what. It's one thing to post pictures of your kids or your pets or everything else. It's another when you have things like National Pet Day. That's a great day for hackers to say, I'm going to look at all these accounts and see what they posted exactly in this date. You're giving them a very specific date and time to go looking for your information. So be careful and think about that before you follow through with those things. Well, that's about concludes this video. I hope this has been informative, and I hope it helps you be a little safer on Facebook. Again, just some basic tweaks and some basic understanding can help go a long way. It's also a lot more reassuring to know that if someone's just playing games and making a duplicate account of yours, it's not the same as my information's been hacked, which is, frankly, very violating feeling. Someone's gotten into my stuff. No, they didn't. They made a copy of your picture, which is readily available, and they tried your name and stuff like that. Hopefully that just helps you understand what's going on, makes you feel a little less anxious about that stuff. As always, if you really like this video, please like it on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel so you'll get updates on when new videos are. There's also a button for notifications. And there's also a share button. If you have a friend who's had issues with Facebook and you really want to help them out, best thing you could do, share my video. Show them, hey, listen, here's a video that can help you understand what happened to you and help prevent problems in the future. If you have any questions or comments, please post below on the video. I'd love to see your comments. You can also visit us on the web at www.gregsdiytech.com or email us at info@gregsdiytech.com. Again, hope you enjoyed the video. And please stay tuned. We got plenty more coming your way. Have a great day.